Greetings, mighty companions, and welcome back to Practical and Healing Applications of A Course in Miracles with me, Anna Kujawa Quinn. We're going to start off our class today with an opening meditation that I often like to open my classes with, just to allow us to open our minds, quiet our minds, so that we can listen to and connect with the voice of healing, Spirit of Truth in us. So, if you haven't already, go ahead and close your eyes and take a breath. And we are going to allow our minds to get quiet and to open. And just begin with becoming aware of your breath. And choose to slow your breathing down. Becoming present where you are right now, opening your awareness to the present moment. Instructing your mind to come out of the past. Instructing your mind to come back from the future. Reminding your mind that it is safe to be here right now, where you are, and where everything is here now with you, part of you. Allow your heart and mind to open to the peace of the presence that abides in the present moment. And breathe and feel the spirit that dwells within you. It's always at peace, resting in the knowledge, the certainty of your perfect sinlessness as a creation of love. We are acknowledging the spirit of truth and love within us that is always there, loving us, guiding us, comforting us, healing us. What does this moment right now feel like? What do you feel like when your mind is quiet? What does it feel like to have a quiet mind, a mind at rest, a mind at peace? What does it feel like to remember and to practice the truth that you need do nothing but be? how you were created to be. What does that feel like to truly rest, knowing that you've already been fully created, containing everything that is real and loving and eternal? What does it feel like to experience that you are already whole? You already contain everything. There is nothing missing in you now or ever. Let's just breathe in and feel this truth for a moment. Tell yourself, I remain exactly as love created me. I am complete, I am healed, and I am whole forever. Breathe that in. Feel this truth. Let yourself experience the fact of your completeness, your wholeness now. Tell yourself, as I was created, I have no needs. Nothing I need to get. Nothing I need to do. Nothing I need to become that I'm not already. What does a state of mind of no need feel like? And tell yourself, this is but a glimpse of my natural state, the true state of my creation. I remain exactly as love created me, complete, healed, and whole, now and forever. Notice how notice how the truth feels when you let yourself take this truth about you in deeply into your mind. What does the truth feel like when you let it deeply into your mind? Beautiful. And as you are tuning into the present moment, go a little deeper and see if you can detect that presence that lives within you in the present. See if you can detect or sense the eternal spirit of love within you that dwells within you at home forever. This is your true self. That divine self, that divine spirit that lives within you at home forever. Remember your true self. Feel for it. Open your heart to it. Call to it for its help, to feel it, to hear its voice. I am God's perfect, guiltless, sinless, loving and lovable child. And I remain exactly as my Creator has created me in love forever. And I give thanks for this. Thank you, God, for creating me complete and healed and whole forever. Thank you for creating me like you. Eternally, only love. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And then when you're ready, just take a breath and gently and slowly bring your awareness back to the room. All right. Right. Hi, everybody. Beautiful. Hi, Jorge. Hi, Earl. Lovely to see you. All right, you guys, where we're at today is in the teacher's manual. And we are in the section titled, it's question number 20 in the teacher's manual. Let's see here. And it is, what is the peace of God? What is the peace of God? What in the world is that? All right, anybody in here could use a little bit more peace today, tonight, in any area of your life? Okay, anybody live in a world where there seems to be, oh, you're pointing at her. Todd's like, uh-huh, right on. That's exactly right, that's right. And what do they say about perception? It's projection. If you just remember that, then you'll be a lot more silent a lot more often. Perception is projection. What do you mean about that? Oh, I think I'll wait then to speak. So, all right. So, what is the peace of God? All right. So, first of all, where is it in your life right now where you could use a little bit more peace? Where is it in your world where you see that there's a major deficit of peace going on? So as we go through this, keep that in mind, because so that we can apply these ideas to where we need it. All right. Okay. So we're talking about the peace of God. What is it? How do you find it? And once you find it, how do you keep it? What is it? Where do you find it? And once you find it, how do you keep it? That's what we're going to be talking about. All right. And of course, Miracle says that what greater treasure is there than peace of mind? And when you really come down to it, you get old enough, you realize that there is nothing of more value. You know, you realize as you go on through your life that it doesn't matter how much power, fame, money, physical pleasure that you have. If you don't have peace of mind, you can't enjoy all that good stuff that you have worked so hard to achieve and accomplish. You can't enjoy it if you don't have peace of mind. So ultimately, the Course in Miracles talks about it as being the ultimate treasure. Okay? Because if you have peace of mind, then whatever is happening, you're good. It's good, you're good, and you use it for good. Okay? And you're using it for good to give to the world. If you have all the power, fame, money, physical pleasure in the world, but you don't have peace of mind, then it just doesn't matter how much you have. Okay? You can't enjoy it, and all you are now is worried about losing it, right? If you have all the power, fame, money, physical pleasure, but you don't have that peace of mind, all you're going to be worrying about is, what if somebody takes it from me? What if I lose it? Well, you know, so it is true that, as A Course in Miracles teaches us, that peace of mind is the ultimate treasure. It is the only thing that's really missing, that's not really missing. It's the only thing that's missing that we already have. It's built in. And that's one of the beautiful things that A Course in Miracles teaches us, is that peace and joy and love and happiness and abundance, those are all things that you don't have to look for. You don't have to look for it. You don't have to find it. You don't have to go out and get it. A Course in Miracles tells us that's built in. That is built in. Who knew? Who knew that happiness was already built in? Peace is already built in. It's already part of me. It was part of my creation. You know, my Creator is peaceful and full of peace, and that is how it created me. So what we're talking about when we're talking about peace of mind is we're talking about really understanding who we are, what we are, and how we were created. That's why the Course in Miracles says, I'm in need of nothing but the truth. So if I know the truth about myself, I am automatically going to be experiencing the peace of mind that I was created in and I was created by, that remains within me to be experienced no matter what. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that deep thought to think that peacefulness, happiness, joy, abundance, that is built in. And all I need to do is remove the blocks, allow the blocks to be removed or corrected that are blocking my awareness of the peace that is within me right now to be accessed and to be enjoyed and to be experienced. And ultimately, the Course in Miracles says that peace of mind is healing. I mean, even science tells us that the number one killer in the world is stress, the opposite of peace. You know, the number one killer of your body, of your relationships, of your abundance is stress, which is the opposite of peace. And that peace is healing. So sickness is a lack of peace. I do not feel peaceful. Okay? And I just love the reminder that it's not something that I got to go find and I got to go get. And once I get it and once I find it, I got to fight to keep it. Okay? I love it. The reminder that it is not outside me. It is within me, waiting for me to value that more than, more than everything else. All right. So what is the peace of God? It has been said that there is a kind of peace that is not of this world. There's a kind of peace that is not of this world. It don't come from this world. Most people in this world don't know about it and don't experience it. And you don't get it from the world. It's not of the world. Well, how is this kind of peace recognized? How do you recognize it? Notice it's not about finding it. It's about recognizing it. Recognizing it. So recognizing means you've seen it before. You've known it before. So it's about recognizing it. How do you remember it? How do you recognize it? And how is it found? And being found, how can peace be retained? So all very important questions. What is it? How do I recognize it? And once I recognize it, how do I retain it in my awareness so that my peace goes with me everywhere I go? That's the goal here, is that our peace, that I recognize my peace, and it goes with me everywhere I go. So wherever I go, I bring peace with me. Okay. Then it says, so let us consider each of these questions separately, because each of these questions reflects a different step along the way in recognizing our peace, the peace of God, and retaining it. Okay? Beautiful. So paragraph 2. First, how can the peace of God be recognized? Well, God's peace is recognized at first by just one thing. In every way, peace is totally unlike all previous experience. So when you experience peace of mind, you are going to realize that this doesn't feel like anything I have ever experienced before. Okay? Peace is something that is in every way totally unlike all past experiences. Peace of mind. So it feels completely different than anything that you felt before. Okay? That's the first thing about how to recognize it. So if you're experiencing something and it looks like and feels like something that you've experienced before, it's probably not the peace of God. Okay? It's going to be totally different than anything you've experienced in the past. Okay? Because what's the one thing that is, because what did it say about peace? It doesn't come from here. It doesn't come from the world. So it's got to be something totally different than what you've experienced in the world, in time, in the past. Okay? That's the first thing to know about how God's peace is recognized. Okay? That's the first thing. And that's because the peace of God calls to mind nothing that went before. So the peace of God, peace of mind, is not something where the past is in your mind. You're not thinking about what happened in the past. You're not thinking about anything about the past. Not what happened in the past. Not how what could happen in the past might happen in the future. When you are experiencing peace of mind, there's no past there. There's no past in your mind at that moment. Okay? You're not worried about the past. You're not thinking about the past at all. So the past is not in your awareness. So we're like, well, what's that like? What's that like to have a state of mind where the past is not in your mind? Imagine that. Okay? So peace has nothing to do with the past. As a matter of fact, you can't have the peace of God and also have the awareness of the past in your mind. So, what is the past? The past is the problem. The past is the reason you're telling yourself you can't have peace right now. That's what the past is. Okay? The past is not real. The past is gone, and it's just an idea that we are using as the excuse. The reason I can't be happy right now, the reason I can't have peace right now, is because what happened in the past. Everybody knows that. If you've experienced this in the past, that you can't be peaceful right now, everybody knows that. So that's what the past is. That's the purpose that the past is serving for us. It is our excuse for why I can't have peace right now. Wow. All right. Welcome. Do you need a book?
Maybe. The website said 7:30.
Oh, it did? That's weird. All righty. Well, thank you for telling me that. I've only been doing this class at 7 for years. Yep. We are in the process of getting a new website. Thank you, God.
The Rocky Mountain Miracle Center website, not like yours.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That's going to be
That's
replaced soon.
very soon. We have found our God has gifted us with our new web designer. Thank you, God. Okay. All righty. So the first thing about recognizing the peace of God is that it's like anything that we've ever experienced in the past. And also, the past, what does it say? It calls to mind nothing that went before. So there's no association with the past. Okay, so first thing is it's a totally present moment experience. So if you're in an experience right now and you don't have peace, then the first thing that you might want to think about is, let me choose to forget the past, if only for a moment. Because you can't have the memory of the past and the peace of mind at the same time. So if you want to have peace, you got to let go of the past. Let the past be what it is. Gone. Over. Not happening right now. Remembering that the Course in Miracles says that the past that you remember did not happen like you remember it. If you were at all in any way, shape, or form in your ego in the past, then you were not perceiving what was really going on at that moment. You were not seeing what was really going on. You weren't seeing the bigger picture. You weren't understanding the motivations in people's heart in the past. You weren't understanding the truth of the matter. You weren't understanding what was really going on with them. You didn't even understand what was really going on with you. So if you want peace right now, then that's the first part about it, is letting go of the past. Letting, I will not be thinking about what happened in the past. I won't be concerned about that for a moment. Okay? All right. And that's because the peace of God, peace of mind, brings with it no past associations. In that deep, it is something that is absolutely 100% present moment. It is a new thing entirely. That's right. That's exactly right. Now, there is a contrast between the peace that you experience, God's peace, and what you experienced in the past. Yes, there is a contrast between this peace of God and all the past. Total contrast between peace of God right now and everything that happened in the past. Total contrast. But strangely, it's not a contrast of two true differences. When you are experiencing the peace of God, the past just slips away. It's just gone. You ever had a moment where literally the past just slipped away? You just slipped away. All that was happening was this peace and this joy and this love right now. That's a holy instant. So that's what happens when you allow yourself to recognize, to remember God's peace that is in you now. When you choose to recognize that and to remember that, the past just slips away. And in the past's place is everlasting quiet. Only that. So you can either remember the past or you can experience an everlasting quiet. That's our choice. Let's see, what's it gonna be? Let's see, I could have total peace right now, or I could remember the past that didn't even happen like I remember it. The past that is gone. That's our choice. I can either experience peace, the peace of God right now, or I can remember the past. But I can't do both. So, what's it gonna be? Okay? So, when you need a miracle of peace in any situation or relationship, we're being told the first thing that we can do to experience it, to recognize it. Oh, it's already there. Who knew? Okay? And it says the past just slips away, and in the past's place is everlasting quiet. Only that. The contrast first perceived between this present peace and my past has merely gone. Quiet has reached to cover everything. Doesn't that sound nice? Doesn't that sound like a big improvement of to what we're experiencing right now in that situation? With you know who? You know, that certain situation that we don't have peace in. This is what's possible. This is an alternative that you can have for free. No exceptions, no conditions, if you want it. That's what's possible. Hard to believe, eh? Hard to believe that in any moment, in any situation, in any relationship, you could experience a quiet that covers this situation and this relationship completely, where all you experience is quiet, peace. Wow, hard to believe, eh? But that's what A Course in Miracles is teaching us. Anytime, anywhere, no matter what's going on, this peace of God, this peace of mind is possible. It is within you to be recognized, to be experienced if you want it. It really goes to show you what we really value. It's like I could have it for free anytime, no exceptions, no conditions, but I only experience the fear and the pain and the anger and the chaos that comes from remembering my past.
I just want to share that, and at the risk of sounding like a broken record, I had this experience on Friday night, again, participating in Friday night's kirtan here. And at an hour plus into it, a chant came to the end, and the entire group just dropped into this extended silence without any pre-planning, without any intention. The music ended, and we just dropped it. We were just there in the silence. The music ended, and we were in silence, and we just enjoyed it for an extended period of time.
Exactly.
It was the easiest thing in the world. It was the easiest thing in the world to experience.
Peace of mind is the easiest thing to experience in the world. The easiest thing to experience. The Course in Miracles tells us. Why? Because all you need to do is be present. All you need to do is let what's gone be gone from your mind. You know, and that is the state of mind that heals the mind, which then heals the body. You know, peace is healing, because peace is the opposite of stress. Yeah, and thank you for saying that. And that's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. What helps us to experience that kind of quiet in our mind? So here, this is telling us that the peace of God is a quiet that covers everything, where your mind is quiet. All right. Anybody ever experienced a quiet mind before? How did it feel?
Peaceful.
It felt peaceful. Did it feel good? Yes. Did it feel good? Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. I mean, ultimately, that is ecstasy. Ultimately, when you experience a quiet mind, you experience peace, you experience ecstasy. You go, wow, wow, that felt good. And you realize, hey, nothing has felt better than that, come to think of it. Nothing has felt better than that moment when my mind was quiet, and the quiet in my mind reached to cover everything in my experience. Okay, so this is what we're learning how to remember, to recognize. And really, we are remembering or learning that it's valuable. We're learning to remember what's really valuable. We don't really understand or believe yet that peace is the most valuable thing that you could have. And that's obvious because we're willing to throw our peace away for nothing. Think about the things that we're willing to sell our peace for. Think about the things that you're willing to throw your peace away for. I mean, the craziest, most meaningless little things like, I was willing to throw my peace away today because I was late. Okay, the most valuable thing that you could have that heals your mind and your body, and you're willing to throw it away just because you're going to be late to something? Wow. Okay, that lets you know that we do not value our peace. We don't value peace, which means we do not understand the healing power of it. We do not understand the ecstatic joy, the ecstatic feeling that it brings us. We don't understand how it heals our life, it heals our body, it heals our relationships, it heals the world. We don't realize how valuable it is. It's like we have the most valuable thing in the entire world within us. And we're like, having no idea it's there, having no idea of the value and the power of of the peace of God that is already built in within us, that we could access very easily. Just by what? Just by letting the past be gone from your mind for a few moments. Not valuing what the past offers you. When your mind is full of the past, it's because you are believing that the past can give you what you want. But if the past could give you what you want, it would have already made you happy. That you wouldn't be experiencing lack right now. You wouldn't be experiencing a limitation or a lack right now. If the past had given you what you wanted or could give you what you wanted, you'd be happy right now because you've had that. So we have this belief that we learned that there's value in the past. Well, I need the past because the past has taught me how to protect myself from future pain, right? Has it really? Has it really? Are you sure about that? If your past had taught you enough to protect you from pain, you would not be in pain anywhere in your life right now. Has anybody still got pain in their life? In their life, in their body, their relationships? Okay. So that means the past has not taught us enough to protect us from future pain. At all. The Course in Miracles says the only one true statement that you can say about the past is that it is gone. Okay? And if it contained the peace and the joy, then you would have peace and joy right now. So we don't need the past. We don't need the past to organize our life. We don't need the past to protect us. We don't need the past to ensure us a safe and abundant and happy future. We don't need the past to help us to have a safe and happy relationship right now. We just don't need that. What we need for peace in our relationships and in our world, in our lives right now, is something that's present right now within us. That's all you need. It's like the Course says, let present trust be your guide. Let present trust in the spirit and in the peace that has to be in you now be your guide now for the peace and the joy that you desire. Wow. It's like, no, I think I need my past to organize the present. Okay, questions or comments on this very easy topic that we can all completely relate to? Oh yeah, peace of mind. I'm old hat, yeah. So, questions, comments, yes, buts, FUs, anything? Yes, F you. All right. Now we're getting somewhere. Questions, comments, how does it feel to hear these ideas about what is the peace of God and how do you recognize it?
Well, I sure would like to experience.
You would like to experience that. Me too. Right on. Well, that's the first part of experiencing it. Desire. So good job. You're almost there.
Okay.
That's the first part, is desiring it.
It's not easy though.
Yeah.
Even when I already experienced it.
Yes. Even when you have experienced it and know how good it feels, it still seems difficult. It still seems like there's still some value in something from the past. It still seems like there might be still some kind of value in something, in other things besides peace, right? It's like, well, you can't just be peaceful all the time. You can't just use peace for everything, right? Well, actually, what does the Course say? That all things are answered in quiet. So, all the answers are in the quiet. And how did it describe the peace of God? As quiet. Quiet in your mind. But we still think that there's something that also has value, or it has a more value, like attack, like judgment, like the past, like analyzing things, like figuring things out, like getting things, like power, fame, money, physical pleasure. We still believe that there are things that are of more value and greater value than peace, peace of mind. Okay, and that's why we have problems with it, because we believe that, well, you know, peace can't just answer everything. I can't just choose peace and then have everything work out all right. Right? So we believe. I need to figure some stuff out. I need to get some stuff. I need to change some people. I need to change something in myself. I need to wait a while. You know, all the things that you need to do before you have peace and be happy, right? You got to get some stuff. You got to get some people to change. Ha ha.
That's the truth.
I can't just have peace right now. You know, I got to get who to change. I can't just have peace right now. I mean, if I have peace right now, then they're going to think that they can just be however they want to be. Ooh, that's dangerous. Yes.
But the difference, though, is that that just reflects where I'm putting my faith.
Indeed.
I'm putting my faith in what I've learned from the past so that I can take care of this and this and this, or at least try to, instead of putting my faith in the idea that Spirit has a plan, and part of that whole idea of I need do nothing
Yes.
is doesn't mean that we're not going to be acting, that we're not going to come back and take some action.
That's
around
right.
the world, but we will be told what to do.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Having a quiet, peaceful mind doesn't mean that you're not going to be taking an action. It just means that you'll be being guided. Exactly. Well said. It just means that now you can be guided by a higher, more loving, more brilliant intelligence than your ego. Because you can't hear the voice for love and truth guiding you while you don't have peace. Because peace means that you don't want to listen to the voice of truth, the voice for God. That you don't want to listen to it and you're not asking for it. That's what the lack of the awareness of peace means. It means I'm listening to the voice of my past. I'm listening to the voice of my past. So if you want to hear this loving, brilliant, genius voice for love that's within you, waiting to guide you into greater joy and peace and abundance, your mind has to be quiet. Your mind has to be at peace to be able to hear that guide who loves you, knows what makes you happy, and is ready to give you the perfect plan for your happiness and abundance and safety and joy that cannot fail. But it can't speak to you when you've said, I don't want to, when you've, put out the closed sign, when you're choosing to listen to a different voice. Because love's voice is loving. It's not going to say, hey, why are you listening to that idiot? Why are you listening to the voice of your past? It has to wait till your mind is quiet enough. That's why the Course says all things are answered in quiet.
So I think this topic's so difficult because the world was created by guilt.
The world was created. Todd is saying this is one of the reasons it's so difficult is because the world was created by guilt. Yes, and?
So we're either seeing guilt or we're feeling guilty.
Yes.
Which leads to the attack. And I guess if I'm being honest here, we're always thinking about how do we minimize how bad we feel by going forward, and we're analyzing the past and what we did wrong so that we can avoid that going forward.
Yes.
It's really hard.
Yes. It's, yeah.
And then I guess one thing that does help me a lot is, when I remember it, is everything that's happened to me, I'd asked for at some level. Everything.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Happens, I'm sorry, I didn't have to hear.
No, it's okay. Everything that happens to us, we've asked for it.
He said supposedly.
According to the Course.
According to the Course, everything that we're experiencing, we asked for. That's right.
So you can get a little less judgmental of that if you can keep that in mind.
Absolutely. Realizing that you are experiencing what you have asked for goes a long way to having a quiet mind and peace of mind. Because when you remember the truth that what you're experiencing is what you wanted, then you are going to have less judgment. You're going to have less projection, and judgment is loud. The voice of judgment is loud. The voice of the ego is loud, and it always speaks first. So when you're remembering, like you're saying, that you somehow, some way asked for whatever you're experiencing, it helps your mind to be quieter. It helps your mind to be more at peace, because you're not projecting judgment on others, and that's a big improvement.
Assuming I'm not judging myself for making this my
very
experience.
good. Assuming, thank you, Matt. Assuming that you're not judging yourself and blaming yourself for having asked for this again.
Subconscious or conscious, or do I need to come back? And I get this idea that we asked for everything, we got it. I can't really believe that on a conscious level. Is this subconscious, or is it really conscious?
The Course says that the practice of it is where you tell it to yourself many, many, many times before you believe it.
Okay.
So it's not like, oh, I believe that unconsciously, or that truth is unconscious. It's I need to practice telling myself the truth about what seems to be happening to me, so that eventually I'll go, dang, that is true, and be liberated from it. Be liberated from the anger, be liberated from the grievance, and also be liberated from repeating it again in your future. So it's something that all the truth that we're studying is something that we have to tell ourselves over and over. We have to repeat it and apply it over and over and over, so that eventually we see that it's true and experience the liberation and the peace that comes from the truth. There's only one thing that brings true peace of mind, and that is knowing the truth. Knowing the truth is the only thing that allows your mind to go, to stop judging, to let go of the past, and to experience the everlasting quiet that does exist in your mind. It is your nature. So the truth does set us free, because it teaches us the truth that enables us to have a quiet mind, a peaceful mind. And a quiet and a peaceful mind is a mind that is now fully in its creative power. A mind that is at peace and quiet is a mind that is fully in relationship, communication with its source, and is now fully in its creative power. And that is no idle gift. To have a mind that is quiet, that is peaceful, that is fully in communication with genius source and fully in its creative power, that's no small gift. That's no small gift.
So, but following up on your question, Cindy, the whole idea of a split mind is exemplified by our ideas of a conscious, subconscious, unconscious. That's just an apparent example of the way our minds are split. And the Course is teaching us that, yes, there is a part of our mind that wants to be here in a body, wants to be here now and separate. But we don't always remember that. It's operating in outside of our consciousness most of the time, and that's where that statement, I received what I asked. I don't necessarily consciously remember asking for this particular
Chaos,
body in this particular lifetime, but there's a part of my mind that, according to the Course, did in fact summon all the circumstances and conditions that made it so.
That's right. Yes, beautiful. Great question. Okay, so in paragraph 3, it talks about how to find that quiet. So it's not about getting it. It's not about getting it. It's about how do I find it? Where is it? Well, it says no one can fail to find the peace and the quiet. No one can fail to find it who only seeks out its conditions. So where is it? It's in a set of conditions. Okay, it's not a person, place, or thing outside of me. It's in a set of conditions. And what are we talking about? What do you mean seeking out the conditions where you can find peace of mind? Well, God's peace can never come where anger is. Oh, no wonder I've never found the peace of God. No wonder I've never experienced any lasting peace of mind, because was that peace of mind, the peace of God, can never come where anger is. Why? Because anger must deny that peace exists. That's what anger is. Anger is like, I can't have peace right now. Nobody could have peace right now in this situation. You can't have peace right now. Who could have peace right now? That's what anger says.
And miracles riding on love.
Yes. And so
God doesn't exist.
that's right. And anger is saying there's no peace. Peace doesn't exist. And isn't it true when you're angry, it seems like peace does not exist? Peace is gone. When you are angry, the peace is gone. It's just gone. So anger is the condition in which the peace of God, peace of mind can never come. Whoo-wee. And it really brings to your mind what you really value. When you hear that, you're like, oh, okay, that means that I value my anger and what my anger is telling me and how my anger is making me feel and what's coming from my anger, which is a bunch of crap. I value that more than I value peace of mind. Ooh-wee, that's deep. Imagine if you were like in your anger, you were like angry, oh, you're feeling it. And you were like, I cannot experience peace of mind and retain this anger also. And what if you told yourself that one time when you were really angry? You told yourself that. And where it brings to mind like, okay, I can't have peace of mind and have this anger. So which one really is more valuable to me? Which one really is going to give me what I say I want? We all say we want to be happy. We all say we want peace of mind. We all say we want to have love and peace and joy, right? That's what we say we want, right? But our anger lets us know that right now, that is not what we want. We want something else. Isn't that deep? That's really deep. I believe that I can have peace of mind and keep my anger too. It's like I'm trying to have both at the same time. I want peace of mind. I want to be happy. I want to have love. Of course I do. But I also want to have my grievances. So don't tell me I can't have both. I'm counting on that I can have both. I want to be able to attack and have all the love and peace and joy and happiness and abundance that I say I want. That's what I'm looking for. and things like A Course in Miracles that say you can't have both at the same time really piss me off. Obviously, it pisses a lot of people off, or else this place would be full to the rafters. Wow. Okay. So anger is, and what does it say? It says anger must deny that peace exists. And anger is the peace does not exist, and also peace will not give me what I want. Anger's message is peace is not going to give you what you want. If you don't have a grievance and let people know about your grievance, and if you don't act from your grievance, from your anger, then you know what's going to happen to you. Think about your past. That's what anger says. That's what anger's purpose is. Anger's purpose is to make sure that you do not experience the everlasting quiet of peace that exists within you right now, that would answer every problem, that would restore you to your full loving power. That's what anger is about. Okay, so please don't throw anything at me yet. Don't stop breathing, even when you hear this next sentence, okay? It says, which means whoever sees anger as justified in any way or any circumstance proclaims that peace is meaningless, and this person must believe that peace cannot exist. Whoa. That's just a little too far, isn't it? That just is a little too far, isn't it? All right. So let's go into that let's go a little deeper into that so that we can choose something besides our anger. we really want to understand the nature of anger, our anger. Because we make friends with our anger, we believe that our anger makes us strong, right? We believe, our ego tells us, your anger makes you strong. You know, nobody will do you like they did you in the past if you've got with this anger. This anger is going to protect you from somebody doing to you what they did to you in the past in the future. So we believe that anger is protective. We believe that anger makes us powerful. We believe that anger gets stuff done. Okay? And so we need to understand the truth about our anger. Anger is the ego's calling card. Anger is the absolute opposite of what the truth is, what it says, and what it does. And so we need to understand the truth about our anger so that we can stop being deceived by it. Our ego is deceiving us. The deceiver within us who wants us to suffer like hell before we die. You know the deceiver within you, called the ego? It wants us to throw away our peace of mind, which really does give us everything, so that we can be angry about what happened in the past. But that means that the truth is that I don't need anger. That's what isn't that deep thought? This is what this is implying, is that I don't need anger to protect me. I don't need anger. As like my ego tells me I do. My ego tells me, you know you need anger. Anybody who tells you don't need anger is you know, a wolf in sheep's clothing, trying to make you vulnerable. But anger is doing what? Anger is setting up a condition in our mind in which peace cannot come. See, I don't understand what my anger is really doing. I don't really understand or have accepted the true nature of my anger. Because if I knew that, I'd be like, oh, hell no. I cannot afford anger. And the Course in Miracles is telling us that all anger is projection. Isn't that deep? I hated that so much when I heard that. I was like, oh, no, not all of my anger, right? Not all of my anger is projection, right? It says your anger is a projection. It is not a reflection of truth. It's wrong. It's misinformed. It's not true. It's a total projection. And it sets up a condition where your peace of mind can never come. Dang. But yet, I still want my anger. I still want my grievances. Wow. What does that mean about me? What does that say about me?
But we don't trust.
Yeah. And that I'm insane. That I would prefer pain and chaos and disease and disaster and lack more than peace of mind. That's what it means about me. You know, but until I see what I'm really asking for, what I really value, until I see it, I can't do anything about it. You know, I can't decide differently. I can't take a stand against my anger until I really see what it's doing. It isn't helping me one bit. It isn't bringing more peace or joy or abundance or love. It's not protecting me. As a matter of fact, the more anger I maintain or retain, the more I am throwing what happened to me in the past, which I'm pissed off about, into the future. That's what anger does. It's a big old projector. It's a what do you call that thing? A catapult. Anger is a catapult. It takes your past and just catapults it right into the future. That's what anger does. It's a crap catapult.
Because the ego just wants to keep us in a vicious cycle.
Exactly. That's exactly what anger is. It's the ego saying, you know what happened to you in the past? That ain't right. Nobody should do that to you. And if you don't hold that grievance, somebody's going to do it to you again. That's what the ego counsels you. Why? Because the ego wants you in hell, so it's telling you to do the very thing that's going to take what happened in the past and throw it into the future. It's going to take the attack that you thought happened to you in the past and throw it into your future. And then you walk into your future, and here's the repetition of the old attack, and you go, see, I was right. See, I was right. I was right to hold on to that grievance. Because look, here it is again. Not realizing that you put it there. Not realizing you put it there.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Anger makes for a self-fulfilling prophecy. Thank you, Matt. That's exactly right. It is so deep. It says, and in the condition of anger, peace cannot be found. So what do you want? What do you want? And remember, anger is never telling us the truth. What we're angry about, anger never tells you the truth, ever. Anger never tells you the truth. For one thing, anger is always telling you that you're a victim and that something is happening to you. And anger is the opposite of realizing, oh, somehow I did this to myself. Somehow I've asked for this. I wonder why I would want that. I wonder if there's an alternative of what to ask for, right? You know, anger is, why is this happening to me? Who did this to me? Why did they do that to me? And how do I get vengeance? How do I, basically, vengeance. How do I make it right is what I call it. How do I get justice? It was really vengeance, but I don't call it that. That's not very pretty. I'm a nice girl. I'm not trying to get vengeance on anyone. So I just call it justice, right? Or making it right. Because I'm a nice girl. I would never just want to get vengeance, on someone or something from the past.
Anger is like just one of our tools in our arsenal that when the situation approaches, like today, there was this guy complaining, and it was about the stupidest thing anyway, but he wouldn't shut up about it. To somebody else, I wasn't involved in the conversation, but it was so annoying that I wanted to get involved. I really wanted to tell the guy to stop being a little bee, But because I have these tools in my arsenal, and I'm like, okay, I want to do something about the matter of the situation, and what is effective to do something? Oh, anger get the job done.
Oh, anger get the job done.
And that's what it is it's a tool that we put trust in that has power to get the job done.
Yes.
And because we don't think peace has any power.
Right, we don't, of course.
Or we'd be using peace.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
We're using it because we think it can get
The job done. We're using the anger because we think it could get the job done.
Right.
And thank you for saying that. And which means we don't believe that peace has power to get the job done.
Right, or we would be using
Or we would be using peace as our tool.
Peace
we would.
lets the other person get away with it.
Peace lets the other person get away with acting like a little bee.
Wow.
So we believe. Another little bee, so we believe. But if that were the case, if it was, what I heard when you were saying that, Greg, was that anger gets the ego's job done.
Yeah, and I knew that if I said what I really wanted to say.
What your anger was feeling.
And I was ready.
I know you were. You were like.
I'm ready for a good fight today.
Yes. You know how some days you're just in the mood for a good fight? You're like, come on, somebody, come on, just say something stupid. Come on then somebody, just say something stupid.
Is anger an all-encompassing word for any state where you're not experiencing the peace of God?
No, that's California.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I suppose you could use it, yes. Well, yes, thank you for bringing that up, Cindy. The Course in Miracles says that there are many words that we use as euphemisms for hatred. And we go, I'm irritated, they annoy me. He says that all the annoyances and irritations are just a thin veil draped across intense rage.
Right?
So, well, I wasn't hating that person. I was just annoyed by them. I wasn't having intense rage to them. I was just, they were just being a pain in the butt. I was just irritated. I was just frustrated, but that is a thin veil drawn across intense rage. And the ego is nothing but angry. The ego is never peaceful, never loving. The ego, it wears the face of innocence, but the ego is always angry. The ego is the part of you that is acted upon, that never makes the first attack, ever. That's the ego. The ego is the victim, and the victim is always angry. Sometimes the ego victim looks like it's being kind to others, but only when that is only an appearance. Okay, it is only to get something that the ego wants. So the Course in Miracles tells us in the workbook, today we're going to take a stand against our anger. We're going to learn about our anger and realize that what our anger's purpose really is. And we're going to realize that what the anger is trying to accomplish is not something that we want. It's not going to get me what I want. And so I'm going to take a stand against my anger. So I'm going to learn about what my anger is. I'm going to learn about the cost. The anger, we think the anger is the tool that gets the job done. But the Course is asking us to look at the cost of it. Number one, it doesn't work. It don't get the job done. If you want peace, if you want happiness, if you want love, if you want a loving, happy relationship. And to learn the cost of our anger and refuse to pay it. So I'm not going to pay that price. I'm not going to. My peace is too valuable. My peace is my only power. My peace is the only thing that's going to work to bring me the joy and the peace and the abundance that I do want. And sometimes I forget and think that attack is what I want. Sometimes I forget and think that attack will get me what I want. And that's what's happening when I'm not happy. That's what's happening when I'm insane, when I'm in hell. I forgot what I really want. And that's why the Course says that when you're in hell to go, oh yeah, I forgot what I wanted. I just forgot what I wanted. I forgot that what I want is peace of mind that gives me everything. I just forgot. So no guilt, no beating yourself up. I just forgot what I wanted. And oh yeah, what I want is peace of mind. How do I have peace of mind? I can't have peace of mind when there's anger in my mind. So I'm gonna have to make a choice. Do I want peace of mind and happiness and love and abundance and health and joy and fun and an awesome life? Or do I want this grievance? Which one do I want right now? I have to choose once again. Do I want to be right or happy? Exactly. And right, wanting to be right usually has anger with it, right? I'm going to be right, damn it. Okay? It usually has anger with it. Okay, so deep. So it says, so in anger, peace cannot be found. Therefore, that's why forgiveness is the necessary condition for finding the peace of God. More than this, given forgiveness, there must be peace. This is why the Course in Miracles says forgiveness offers me everything I want. Because once you have chosen forgiveness, which is the absence of anger, then you must have peace. Peace is just there already. And because what except attack will lead to war? Or you could say, what except anger will lead to war? What does anger do? It leads to war. What except for anger will lead to war? And but peace is opposite to war. Here, in peace and war, is the initial contrast stands out clear and apparent. Yet when peace is found, the conflict, the war is meaningless. And it is conflict now that is perceived as non-existent and unreal. So once you have peace that you found through forgiveness, which means taking a stand against the anger, taking responsibility for your experience, then now war is meaningless. Now conflict is as meaningless as peace was to you before when you were angry. You know, when you were angry, peace was like non-existent. When you're angry, peace is non-existent. But when you are experiencing peace of mind that came from forgiveness, letting go of the anger, then now it's like the conflict never happened. It's like, what conflict? What war? I know we were in this big fight, 20 minutes ago, but I can't even remember what we were fighting about. Now, the conflict is as non-existent to you as peace was before when you were angry. All right. So what does anger lead to? It doesn't lead to things getting handled. It doesn't lead to anything but war. Anger doesn't lead to anything but conflict.
In the shaman teaching, they say if you're angry, don't engage.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. The Course in Miracles says something similar, that when you're angry, don't do anything. Don't take an act. Don't act. If the least you can do, don't act. Do nothing. And as fast as you can, as good as you can, get back to the truth. Okay, however that is, whether that's listening to the truth, whatever. All right. Okay, so then now on to the next question, which is, how is this peace of mind retained once you find it? Well, returning anger in whatever form will drop the heavy curtain once again, and the belief that peace cannot exist will certainly return. So how do you retain the peace that you experienced? By what? Don't return anger. In what? In whatever form. Returning anger in whatever form will drop the heavy curtain of conflict once again, and then what? And then the belief that peace cannot exist will certainly return. Dang. See how anger is like, anger is where peace of mind can never come, and anger is what makes sure that you will forget that peace or lose that peace in your awareness like that. Wow. And it says, and once you have returned anger, like you were talking about today, it's like you were tempted to return anger. This person was angry, they were complaining, and you were tempted to return anger. But you didn't. And because you didn't, now your peace of mind you could retain your peace of mind.
Yeah, because if I gave it, then now I made a request of what I want back. So
That's right.
I can't be retaining it because I'm requesting it.
Exactly.
Or requesting that's opposite.
Right. When you return anger, you're giving anger, which means you're going to receive it back. Okay. And when you return anger back, so then now it will seem like peace is impossible and peace cannot exist in this situation. If you return anger, you'll lose the peace of mind that you had allowed for yourself. And then conflict will once again be accepted as the one reality. Now that you have, now you must now that you have returned anger, so now you had some peace of mind because you dropped the anger, but then you returned anger, and now you lost that peace of mind again. And so what do you do now? Okay, I had some peace. It was really great. It was answering everything. It felt great. And then somebody tempted me, and I returned anger. And so now what? It says, well, now you must once again lay down your sword. Once again. Oh, damn it. I picked up my sword of anger, lost my peace. Peace is gone, seems non-existent. Oh, I gotta lay back down my sword of anger. Oh, all right. I had picked it up again. It says, now must you once again lay down your sword of anger, although you will not realize that you have picked it up again. So when you return anger, you don't realize that you picked back up that sword. And so now you got to go, oh yeah, I didn't realize I picked back up the sword of anger that I was holding against my own throat. Now I need to lay it down again. Okay? It says, but you will learn as you remember even faintly now what happiness was yours without that sword of anger, that you must have taken it again as your defense. So once you have returned anger and picked back up your sword, you're going to go, wow. But at least now I recognize the contrast. At least now I realize the difference between how I feel right now, having picked back up the sword of anger, as contrasted to how I felt when I had laid down the sword of my anger before. Now you'll be like, oh, I got the contrast. Okay, I got the contrast. Okay, that's learning. Okay. It says, so stop for a moment now and think of this. Okay, once you have dropped the sword again of anger, then after you do that, you stop for a moment and think of this. Is conflict what I want? Is war what I want? Or is God's peace the better choice? You have to ask yourself, which choice gives me more? Remembering that a tranquil mind is not a little gift. So, would you not rather live than choose to die? Same question. Is war and conflict what I want, or is God's peace the better choice? It's the same question as, would you not rather live than choose to die? So when we pick back up that sword of anger and we return anger, we are literally choosing to die instead of live. We are choosing war and conflict instead of a tranquil mind. That's what's really going on. That's what's happening. We say we want peace of mind. Everybody says they want peace of mind, right? Everybody says they want happiness. Having no idea that how to really experience that. Having no idea. And then it says in paragraph 5, and I'll just go through these pretty quickly since we have a few minutes left. It says, living is joy, but death can only weep. You see in death escape from what you made, but this you do not see. You made death, and death is but an illusion of an end. Death cannot be escape, because it is not in life in which the problem lies. Life has no opposite, for life is God. Life and death seem to be opposites because you have decided that death ends life. Forgive the world. Drop your anger at the world, and you will understand that everything that God created cannot have an end. And you will understand that nothing God did not create is real. Wow, I love it. And now I hear when it says forgive the world, now I hear drop your anger with the world. And once you drop your anger with the world, you will understand that everything that God created cannot have an end. And whatever God did not create isn't real. Wow. Interesting. So when I choose a tranquil mind and a peace of mind instead of my anger, when I consciously choose that, I have literally consciously chosen to live instead of to die. Dang. Anger and returning anger is a choice to die instead of live. Not understanding that I cannot die. Not understanding that no one that God created can die. Nothing that God created can die. But I don't understand that while I'm still choosing anger and valuing anger and returning anger in whatever form. Isn't that deep? Who knew the connection between anger and death? It's like, if we knew that anger was us picking up a sword and pulling that sword to our own neck, choosing to die, I mean, would we really choose anger and value and value returning anger as much as we do? We have no idea what we're doing when we pick up the sword called anger. We think that we're attacking them, having no idea that we're saying, I would rather die than live. That's what I would want. That deep? That's why I said, so instead of anger, you could forgive the world, which means forgive others, which means drop the anger. When you realize the truth, hey, I am just experiencing what I asked for, what I have given, where's the anger? When you realize that you are experiencing only what you have given, where's the anger? What happens to the anger? That's why knowing the truth undoes anger. Anger is a projection. Anger is a lie. Anger never tells you the truth. Wow. So anger is like drinking poison, hoping somebody else dies. So I'm going to drink this poison, but you're going to die. How stupid is that? But that's what anger is. I'm going to attack myself. I'm going to choose to die to punish you. That's how stupid anger is. Stupid. All right? So we need to know the truth about it so that we can drop that sword, so that we can stop asking for death, not realizing that we can't die. Okay? But even though you can't die, the idea of death is extremely depressing. It's completely terrifying. And the idea of death and the belief that death is real makes death seem real. The belief in death makes us sick. It makes us afraid. It makes us terrified. What is more depressing than the idea of death? So if you believe that you can die, then you are going to be depressed about it. That's why psychologists will tell you that at the core existential fear in every human being is the fear of death. And anger is a request for death.
Who knew?
Who knew? Who knew? Now you do. Okay, so here we go. So it says, in this one sentence is our Course in Miracles explained. Dang. In this one sentence is our practicing given its one direction. And in this one sentence is Spirit's whole curriculum specified exactly as it is. Oh, okay, I get that. Sounds kind of important. All right, last paragraph. So, what is the peace of God? What is everlasting peace? What is peace of mind? What is it? No more than this. The simple understanding that God's will is completely without opposite, which means there's no thought that contradicts God's will that can still be true. The contrast between God's will and your will only seems to be reality. In truth, there is no conflict between God's will and your will, because God's will is your will. Now is the mighty will of God himself, God's gift to you. God does not seek to keep God's gift for himself. Why would you seek to keep your tiny, frail imaginings? Why would you seek to keep your tiny, frail grievances apart from God? That's what we're doing. I'm going to keep my tiny, frail grievances like this in my grasping fingers. Why would you choose? Why would you seek to keep your tiny, frail grievances apart from God? The will of God is one and all there is. This is your heritage. The universe beyond the sun and stars and all the thoughts of which you can conceive belongs to you. God's peace is the condition for God's will, which means if you attain God's peace and you remember God. So why did it go into talking about all that stuff about God's will in the last paragraph? What I hear is that if you knew what God wanted for you, everlasting peace of mind, everlasting life, if you knew what God wants for you, which is really all there is nothing else, you could never be angry about anything ever. Anger is about that you think your will is different from God's will, and you don't realize what God has already given to you, which is everything. Everlasting life. Peace of mind forever. God has already given you everything. Anger says, I only have this much. I don't have enough. I'm full of lack. And somebody took it from me and I got to get it back. That's you not understanding at all what God's will for you is, and what God has already given to you forever, which means that you have forever. And if God's will for you is everlasting peace and joy forever, then what is there that you could possibly be angry about? What is it that anybody could have possibly done to you or taken from you that you would need to be upset about? So your anger is denying what God has already given to you forever for free. Your anger says, I don't want that. I don't believe God has given me everything. I think I have some big, gigantic holes in my heart that you know who put there. And now I gotta go get revenge and take it back. That's what anger says. Anger is in total denial of what you've already been given, what you already have, what God wants for you, which God gave you forever at no cost and never takes it back. Wow. Okay, so questions or comments? Thoughts, feelings? Deep, huh?
Seems so obvious when you read it.
Doesn't it seem so obvious when you hear it? Truth? It seems so easy when you hear it. It seems so easy until the temptation for anger comes around.
Which will likely happen.
Which will not be long at all.
Between the time I leave here and get home.
Exactly. My ego's trying to get me to have one right now.
Well, I think it helps too to go back to the Freud part of all of the course, which is we're repressing the guilt, and what gets repressed gets projected. And so we're really innocent. We're just, but we don't understand.
That's right.
I never understood any of this, why I got angry until I started studying the Course in Miracles.
Exactly. I mean, what if next time we get angry, we even just say to ourselves, even if we don't believe it, say, well, the Course says all anger is projection. I mean, just even saying that will help you.
That's intolerable. We can't stand it. That's why we're getting angry.
That's right. We can't stand the guilt, and so it forces us to be compelled to project it. Anger is projection of the guilt that we feel that is intolerable, because guilt feels horrible. When you feel guilty, when you feel inadequate, when you feel less than, when you feel not good enough, when you feel ashamed, it feels so bad that you're like compulsively want to get rid of it. And the ego told you, hey man, just project that guilt out there and you won't feel that bad feeling anymore. You can just give away all your guilt and feeling of shame and inadequacy. You can just give it away through your anger and then you'll be free of it, says the ego, who wants us to suffer and then die. And so just tell yourself that oh yeah, the Course says that anger is projection. Okay.
That's the hardest part.
I know, to say it in the moment. I know.
To recognize that.
I know.
So
That's why you don't try to recognize it, just say it.
Mm-hmm.
So don't try to understand it, especially in the moment. Just say it. You see? The saying it then goes, oh, I see, it's true. But first you have to say it many times before you recognize its truth. That's why the Course uses so much repetition, because we have to repeat it many times without believing it before we recognize it.
Well, but that's forgiveness, right? I mean,
And that's what forgiveness is.
identifying it,
Yes.
And then it says,
Yes.
you can't do it by yourself.
That's right.
So give it to Spirit, and then that will dissolve your guilt.
Yes.
And that's the ultimate.
That's it.
how you work.
See, it's so simple. The Course in Miracles says the truth is obvious. The truth is simple. It's obvious. It's simple. It really is. But we have a whole lifetime of conditioning and brainwashing and programming, and maybe even lifetimes if you believe in reincarnation. So that's what's difficult, is that I've been so brainwashed. You know, it's like I've been in the angry guilt cult for my whole lifetime. You know, I've been brainwashed, you know. The ego is the cult leader, you know, who's been brainwashing us with anger and guilt and sin and shame for so long, since birth, that now it's like, now the simple, obvious truth seems very strange and difficult. And so, you know, that this is a curriculum that has us repeating in many forms to undo the brainwashing. So we got brainwashed by the repetition of the lie, and now we get unbrainwashed by the repetition of the truth. You know, so that, you know, so when we are experiencing the temptation to return that anger, now we go, like Greg did, no, anger is projection, anger is projection. Anger is projection, okay. And even if you don't believe it, what you're saying, at least you're telling yourself the truth, and you're not acting on it. You're not picking back up that sword and using it. So that's a big improvement. That's a big improvement. It's a big improvement. And then the next time is easier. And the next time is easier. And then the next time is easier. You know? Yes.
So the idea that I think I can really work with, I feel motivated in this moment to remember this, is that my anger is a request for death.
My anger is a request for death. Yeah.
Because I can see in that no self-interest.
Yes. Yes.
In that idea, I can see that I have no self-interest in that, and I can ask, do I really want to ask for death?
That exactly.
Is my anger really worth?
That's right. You want to ask yourself: is this grievance, is this anger really worth asking for death and punishment and suffering? Is this grievance really worth it? The Course in Miracles describes anger as a sword, just like it describes it as a sword. And then another section, it describes anger as a sword that you're holding against your own throat. So this is a sword I'm holding against my own throat. I mean, honestly, you think about it. You know, is your anger really affecting anybody else? Do most people even know about your anger? No. Truly, it's only hurting me. You know, as justified as I think it is.
Sorry, just to continue what he just said, when you have no self-interest, that means you believe in God's will. Because there's no
Yes,
separation.
exactly. That's exactly right. When you choose to not use the sword of anger, you're choosing to remember God's will for you, which is your will for you, which is that you already have everything. All the love, all the joy, all the power. It wasn't taken from you. Nobody took your power. Nobody took your joy. Nobody took your innocence. Nobody can take that. Nobody can take that, because your joy, your innocence, your guiltlessness, your eternal life, that is how you were created. That's God's will for you. Nobody can change that in you. So what's there to be angry about? Nobody has changed you from how God made you to be. Nobody's hurt you. Nobody's changed you with whatever their, ego action was. So what's there to be angry about? But there is a deep call for love. There is a reason for compassion, So that's why he says, forgive the world. Meaning, drop your anger with the world. The world didn't do to you what you think it did to you. Those in your past didn't do to you what you think they did to you. You're still whole. You're still complete. You're still completely loving and lovable. You're still guiltless and sinless. You still have all of your power intact. And you are still eternal. You can't die. You can't be killed.
Moreover, if what Todd was saying earlier, if we take what the Course says is true, that what's happening to me is what I asked for, then I hired that person.
Amen to that.
Give me whatever grief that I seem to be experiencing.
You hired, that's exactly right. If it's true, like Todd was reminding us, that everything we're experiencing we asked for, then when somebody's irritating us and tempting us with anger, then we need to remember we hired them. We employed them. We said, hey, we don't remember this, of course. We don't remember hiring them and employing them. Hey, could you... Yeah, exactly. Fire those people that you hired to piss you off. We employed those people, the Course says, to traffic in our anger. We literally hired them and employed them to traffic in like a traffic cop. This way, anger this way, come on, anger this way. All right, over here, back it up, anger this way. We literally hired them and employed them to bring in anger to us. And when we start applying the truth to our anger and dropping the anger and choosing something else, we find fewer and fewer and fewer temptations to anger. Fewer things piss us off. You understand? Once you're like, nah, anger's not going to give me what I want. It's a sword against my own throat. Okay? They don't even know I'm pissed off at them. I'm killing myself for a grievance that they don't even know I have with them. They're partying like a big dog in Hawaii. But here I am, like, holding a grievance against them. They have no idea. It's not hurting them. It's hurting me. So when I apply these ideas, then there's fewer and fewer and fewer opportunities to forgive. Meaning there's fewer and fewer people who are just pissing me off. Okay? Fewer and fewer people who I feel are hurting me. Fewer and fewer people who I feel like are attacking me. Okay?
So,
yes.
Anger is like a powerful feeling, like power.
Sure is.
From a tiger, I can get you. So what happens when we feel those unpowerful feelings? Like you just named a bunch of them. Unworthy, all of that. Is that all kind of a flip of the same coin?
Yes,
okay.
it is, because,
Feelings. Okay.
Feeling powerless, feeling guilty, feeling ashamed, feeling inadequate, feeling worthless. It's all, that's what we're angry about. We're like, somebody made me hate myself. Somebody stole my innocence in my childhood. All those things are justifications for anger.
I'm envisioning that as that's what's fanning the flames on this cauldron of rage. That every once in a while bursts out into a projection of anger.
Yes.
It's all those negative emotions and negative self-talk that I maybe try to repress, but they eventually come back out when the volcano erupts.
That's exactly right. Like the Course says, the sick are merciless to everyone.
Oh.
The sick, meaning those who feel inadequate or little or vulnerable or hurt, they are very angry. So when you are angry, it's because you believe you have been hurt, right? And that somehow the anger will somehow bring justice or protect you from that in the future, right? So whatever anger you're keeping is doing nothing but hurting you, making you request death and suffering for yourself, and reinforcing your belief that you're little and that you're a victim and that you've been hurt. And that's why the last paragraph is all about God's will. Because once you remember what God's will is for you, how God created you and what God has given you forever that can't be changed or taken from you, then you realize that you haven't been hurt, you haven't been diminished, you haven't been made little. You still have your full innocence, sinlessness intact. And so now there's nothing to be angry about. If you haven't been hurt, what's there to be angry about? If you can't be killed, if you can't die, what's there to be angry about? All right, beautiful. So now I am going to leave the basket, the love offering basket right here for after class. Thank you so much for your love offerings. I really appreciate that. The Miracle Center appreciates that. And let's just do 2 minutes of an integration meditation just to breathe, because that was really deep, huh? Mm-hmm. I gotta breathe. Bye, guys. Good to see you. Love you. See you soon. All right. So let's just close your eyes and just breathe and just tune in. How do you feel right now? How do you feel right now, having heard that you are still whole and complete and sinless and innocent and powerful and loving and lovable as the moment that you were created by love? Just be with that for a moment and feel the truth of that. How does it feel to still feel whole, complete, sinless, innocent? Tell yourself, I have only been touched by love. I was created by God, and anything not created by God cannot hurt me. It cannot touch me. I remain exactly as I was created by God. I still remain as perfect as my Creator created me. And I want you to now imagine yourself taking that sword of anger that you have been holding against your own throat. I want you to lay it down. Tell yourself, I don't need that anymore. I don't want it. I don't want what anger brings me. Tell yourself, my anger is a lie. It's a projection. I don't want it anymore. I want life. I want to know God's will for me. I want to experience the abundant, eternal, happy universe that God has already created for me and has given to me. That's what I really want to know about. I want to know about how much I have and how amazing and eternal I am now. That's what I want to know about. I don't need this grievance. This grievance is a lie. It doesn't get the job done. It doesn't protect me. It doesn't help me. It hurts me. I lay it down. I do not need judgment or anger to protect myself or to organize my life. All I need is the truth about myself. The truth established by God. That I am eternal. I cannot die. I am eternally innocent and guiltless, complete and whole. I have not been attacked. Who I really am cannot be abandoned, and who I really am cannot be killed. I accept this in gratitude. I choose to live instead of die. And I send my forgiveness to cover all the world, everything and everyone in the world. I send my forgiveness to cover everyone and everything in the world. That's what I want. I choose life. I choose to live. Beautiful. All right, you guys. Good job. All right. All right. Thank you guys for joining this healing circle. I really appreciate you, and I really appreciate you guys coming, bringing your bodies out to the in-person class. I love it. Love you guys. See you next time I see you.